Did you know that Nintendo's main man Mario actually first appeared in the arcade game Donkey Kong on July the 9th, 1981, and he went by the name Jumpman? You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 100. My name's Gareth Briley, I'm going to be your host. And on my virtual left, from the beginning, on episode number 1, Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
I'm excited to finally make it to 100. It's been a long journey, and this is very exciting, boys.
It is, isn't it?
It's as good as it gets. And I can't wait to hear what we've got in store.
We've got
for our amazing listeners.
We have got hundreds of things in store. See what I did there?
No.
On my virtual right is Mr. Darren Edwards. How you doing, Darren?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Yourself, Gareth?
I'm very good. When did you join, Darren? What episode did you come in? Can you remember?
Ooh, that's a good question. It was a few months back, so maybe in the 60s, 70s, I think it must have been.
Back in the 1960s. Oh.
Yeah, feels like it.
Free love. Summer of love. Vietnam. What times?
It's not the late night one again, is it?
And on my virtual opposite, because yes, it's a foursome, is Mr. Paul Renshaw. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing very well, Gareth. I've got to say, this is not how I envisioned my first foursome going, but you know, you guys will do, I suppose.
Yeah. You're opposite in the foursome as well. The best place, some would say.
Looking you right in the eye.
Is it too late to leave? I'm a bit worried now.
The doors have been locked.
So yeah, we have done 100 episodes, and to celebrate, I'm going to just do this before we go into our normal podcast. To celebrate, we've got some goodies to give to you, and all you need to do to get a chance of winning these goodies, which we selected at random, is to go on the article on the Xbox Hub website, relate to the podcast, and you'll see a link to it wherever you're joining us. Have a look at the article, and then you just press on the widget, and it will lead you to various things. So we'd like you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast, whatever medium you're on, and you could have a chance of winning either 4 codes for the game Unmetal. Ooh, can I have a who?
Ooh.
Or, yeah, very nice. Unbelievable. Or a £25 Xbox Live credit. Can I have another ooh?
Ooh.
I like the R, James. Ah. And finally, one person could win a £50 Xbox Live credit.
Whoa.
That deserves a wow.
Yeah.
Wowzer.
So there's 6 prizes and all over there, really. 4 codes for Unmetal, £25 Xbox Live credit, and £50. So you can buy your new game with that £50. It's going to get you somewhere near Call of Duty.
Somewhere near a game. Yeah,
somewhere
Don't
near.
spend it on Call of Duty. There's plenty of better games out there.
You can buy loads of brilliant games for So do that. Look at the article. Follow the widget. It's as clear as that, and I'll give you another shout out at the end. Now, what have we been doing this week? Let's start with James. James, what have we been doing this week?
I've got 2 words for you.
Oh, yeah.
Squid Game. I have been absolutely obsessed with Squid Game since I binged it in about a day. I'm sure everyone's heard about it, but in case you haven't, it's a Korean survival drama about a man called Gi-hun who gets invited to this rather innocent-sounding game to win money, but it's a lot more sinister than that, because if you're not going to win, you might end up dead. But it's...
Ooh.
I know.
Sorry.
No. Perfect time away. Perfect. But yeah, it's an incredibly sinister and dark drama, but it's so addictive. And I think if you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing, people? Get on it. It's on Netflix. And just enjoy yourself and
It's
cry a little bit.
and it's worth saying. Let me just check. Paul, have you seen it?
No.
No, Darren.
We started it last night, so I've seen 2 so far.
Okay,
And I am loving it.
I've watched maybe 5 and I'm on the 6th one. James has seen them all, and it's worth saying it's the premise is like a battle royale. There's a certain number of people, and the idea is going to get to 1 and they win this huge pot of money, and they've had
or £50 Xbox Live credit and $5 for unmetal.
Yeah,
it's up to them what they want.
And less chance of ending up dead.
I think as well. Everyone keeps talking about it being sort of like, it's just the premise is great, it's a really good. But it's, you can have a brilliant premise, but you can do it really badly. And the thing to say about this is it's brilliantly directed. I think it's brilliantly acted as well. I think they do a really good job, and the design is amazing.
And there's a lot of depth to it, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's layers to it, and I think, having seen the whole series now, I would happily watch it again to see a bit more into certain aspects of it. It's good though. It's so damn good. It's
very, very good. I've got 2 questions. The first one, I was working for the first episode. I kept just working out what is the equivalent in sterling for the money.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Big numbers.
Yeah, I was doing that.
£3.50.
And the second bit I was trying to work out was someone's made this stuff for them in this kind of weird battle royale murder rooms. Who's the craftsman doing that? Someone got a commission for some of this thing to make these kind of weird metal things. So who's doing it? It's some kind of arts council person who's got an arts commission to make a murder weapon and gone, I'm just not going to ask any questions. I don't know why they want this.
Yeah. Or someone related to Escher.
I was going to say, that's what it reminded me of in the first episode. MC Escher.
Yeah. It's great. It's really, really good. Watch it, Paul. Watch it.
I will get straight on that, Gareth.
Thank you very much. Darren, what have you been up to this week?
So we've recently finished another Netflix series, which has gained a bit of a reputation, called Midnight Mass. I think it's produced by the same people who did The Haunting of Hill House and The Bly Manor. It's only 7 episodes, limited series, and it's just brilliant. Quite dark though, but it's basically this priest comes back to this town to help them because people are struggling to keep the faith, as it were. They've lost a lot of the population, and it's on a remote island just off the coast of the US. And I can't really say too much more without spoiling any of it, but spooky goings on starts happening. But just a bit like Squid Game, the caliber of the acting and the way the story's told, it's absolutely gripping. Like, we did it in 2 consecutive nights, and it was absolutely fantastic. But I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to spoil it.
It's got a couple of the best monologues I've ever
yes
in the series. It's amazing. Yeah, James is a big fan. He's watched 5 minutes of it and realised it was not for him. Didn't you, James?
Yeah. After a great recommendation from a friend who knows it's the kind of thing I would hate.
Oh, God.
Couldn't get 5 minutes in.
It is pretty chilling, though. The way it's done, it is quite, not gory, but, it is gory, I guess, as well. But it's psychologically quite chilling more than anything, I think.
Yeah. Totally agree.
That's what got me.
Good. Paul, what about you? What have you been doing?
Well, I have been, regular listeners to the podcast will remember me talking about going to the doctors a little while ago and being worn like sooty. And the upshot of all this is that I have now been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Oh. So my life will no longer contain such delights as Haribo and stuff like that. Instead, I'm looking down the barrel of the next sort of, 20 years, shall we say, of carrots and salad and no sugar at all. It's quite sad, really.
Happy 100th.
But, we can't all just sit there watching telly all day. Sometimes real life intrudes, damn it.
Yeah.
So,
Paul.
There we go. That's my life now. So
is type 2? Is type 2 is no sugar at all? Or you can have certain amount. Is it like just a balance thing? Is it, or is it?
Yeah, you're supposed to be sensible, which is obviously not my strong suit. So yeah, they give you these pills that you have to take with a meal, and they make you feel sick, and they're horrible, and yeah. So, but we're here for a celebration, not a commiseration. So yay, Captain Diabetes!
So you can, I'm not. You can have a drink, but you just have to balance it around other stuff, don't you? Is that right?
To be honest, I've decided, I've made my mind up that I am going to be sensible.
Good.
So I won't be drinking. I won't be eating Haribos and everything. When the nurse rang me to give me the news, she was sort of building up to it gently. She was saying, "Now, if your blood sugar's between 42 and 48, you're pre-diabetic. And if it's over 48, then you're diabetic." And I was like, "Oh, okay then. So what did I score?" And she said 108. So there's not much doubt.
Game show.
higher, lower. Yeah.
Wow.
Bring Bruce out of the grave. So yeah, but I'm not here to cast a dampener on things. We'll just sort of knuckle down and get on with it and keep doing podcasts.
Good. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week. Good. No, sorry, Paul. Sorry.
That's all right, mate. I feel like this is a safe space.
I know, exactly. Yeah. Right. I think we're going to go on to games. I think we'll leave my stuff out. We've had your interesting news. What games have we been playing? Let's start with. Shall I start?
Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
I missed you out.
I've been playing Disco Elysium. Have I said it right?
No.
Is it Elysium?
Elysium, that's it. Disco Elysium, which come out. Oh God, I'm just thinking of the embargo. Yeah, it's out. Disco Elysium, which everyone knows about it. It came onto PC. First of all, Steam won loads of awards. It came to PlayStation in Jan, and now it's here finally on the Series X and the Switch, I think. And if no one's played it now, I played this back in the day in 2018 on a res, and I played it then, and I remember going, "Wow, this is different." And I'm saying to them, "Will this become to console?" And they went, "Maybe." And it's finally here, and it stuck with me that day. It's an RPG. You play a sort of like a detective who wakes up in a hotel room, doesn't know who he is or what he's doing, completely had a big night out, and then you go out and explore, and basically you find out you're on a murder investigation case, and outside the hotel there's been a body that's been lynched and it's been hanging there for 7 days, and you should have maybe been investigating it. And then you go on this investigation, basically, with your partner, and you, like a point and click, like an RPG, you talk to people, you have skill sets you can build up. But I'm saying all this like this, it's unlike anything you've ever played. Nothing can describe it. The writing is probably some of the most unusual and fantastic genius writing ever for a game. The voiceover stuff, which is the voiceovers weren't in originally, the voiceovers being added to this version are amazing. And it's at times it feels like he has bits of his personality, his bodies are sort of talking to it at the same time, giving him advice. So if you chat to someone, the dialogue tree, you have about 10 different versions of what you can say sometimes. And sometimes that can lead you into trouble. You can play it like a madman. You can play it doing the weirdest stuff ever. You can play it like the crazy person you are. You can play it very straight and just do it like a detective. The game rolls like dice rolls to see if you succeed on certain things. You have weird skill sets you can expand on. You can do it like a physical build. You can be an intellectual build. You can do it. The upshot of it, the text choices are like, I think the developers have said it's like 1 million things they've had as different choices. I don't know if that's right, but it's ridiculous, the choices. So you can have completely 2 different experiences, 3 or 4 different experiences playing this game, depending on the choices you make. It's brilliant. It's really, really good. You know when you're playing something and you sometimes, especially when it's something quite text heavy, you start to skip the text for a while. You read it, scan it quickly and skip it forward. I didn't do that with this at all, which shows you how good the voiceover stuff and the text is. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And it's long. You know, you can have, it's maybe a 50-hour game if you want to try everything there. if you can rush through it. But yeah, it's a long old game. I think it's only 24 quid. I think it is. Maybe I got that
Is it
wrong.
on Game Pass?
No, it's not
Am
on
I
Game
thinking
Pass.
something else?
No.
That's
It's
a shame.
if you like RPGs, you like politically, if you like something strange and want to try something new, give it a go. I gave it a 5. My second 5 of the year.
Oh, praise indeed.
Yeah.
I've not had a 5 in about 5 years.
You better get
Nice
above 2.
decent games.
Good. That's that one. What else we got? Let's talk James. What we got? A game that you
I've
all...
been reviewing Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot, the first cases. So it's like a point and click style adventure, and it's focusing more on Poirot's early days, and we're still a young detective. It actually starts where there's a normal officer, and you just investigate a theft at a wealthy family's home, and it jumps ahead after like a tutorial to the main case, which is a whole game really, where a series of blackmails turns into like a murder case. I don't want to go into too much spoiler territory. But yeah, the idea is to wander around a mansion, interact with items, and then piece together the clues via a mind map. And it's isometric, the viewpoint. It's quite similar to the Murder Mystery Machine that you reviewed, Gareth, I think.
Good. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, it's actually really similar. I looked after I'd written mine, and apart from voiceovers and being Poirot, it's very samey.
Right.
But there's no mini games or anything. It's not very exciting, and the mind map where you piece together the clues is either really obvious or it makes no sense whatsoever when you're piecing them together.
Right.
And even the conversations, you don't really have much input. You just do whatever's there, and that's it. It doesn't really put your grey cells to the test, so to speak. So it's not a very...
That's what you did there.
Yeah, okay. It's not a very taxing game on your mind at all. But the story's alright, but the gameplay is a bit mediocre. And it's like 30 quid.
Oh.
So it's a bit dear. Whereas Murder Mystery Machine is half the price. And it's the same developers. So I would give that a go instead.
Fair enough. Well,
There we go.
it's a tough time to come out. That was 30 quid, isn't it? It's a tough... Well, it was October
Really
coming out with a game like that.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Good, thank you, James. Darren, what have you got for us?
So a game I reviewed recently was Dustwind: The Last Resort, which is a RTS with real-time combat as well. I think it came out on Steam, like loads of games do these days, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's finally made its way to console. I don't know if you've ever played Fallout Tactics. It's very similar to that in terms of presentation and how the game engine works. So essentially, there's been a apocalyptic event, 5% of the population have survived, and it's kind of back to like Mad Max territory. So there's raiders and all sorts, and you've got to build a base camp, go out and scavenge for resources, recruit people who've got certain skills like cooks and builders and people like that. And then the campaign is a series of missions where you go to like different camps and save people or steal vehicles or gather resources. As I say, it's quite slow and repetitive, but if you like that type of game, then it's really in depth because there's hundreds of items to loot from enemies and different buildings as you explore, but it is quite brutal in terms of difficulty curve. So there's no autosave. You have to remember to save manually, like back in the old days. So an enemy might pop up from behind a tree and chuck a grenade at you, and they explode almost instantly. You're dead. And if you haven't remembered to save, there could be any number of hours that you need to put back into it. So I found myself just saving 5 minutes periodically, because it's got like fog of war, so you can't really see what's coming too far ahead. So you can get ambushed, and you will get ambushed quite regularly. So it's quite gritty, quite old school. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it's not my favourite genre of game, to be fair. So it serves a purpose, but yeah, it is a bit of a grind if you want to see it through.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like my sort of thing.
Haven't sold it really.
No. No. Good, thank you, Darren. Paul?
I have been reviewing a game that came to Game Pass called Astria Ascending. And it's a proper kind of old school JRPG, in fact, but with lovely hand-drawn modern graphics. And I've really enjoyed it. The story is brilliant, which is what you want from an RPG. The combat system is as deep as a deep thing. And it's just been an absolute pleasure to play. In fact, it was only just slightly short of a 5. I gave it a 4.5. It's really, really good. And it is one of the most beautiful looking games you'll see. The graphics, the way the characters move, the design of the characters and the enemies, everything. It's just an absolute joy. I've really enjoyed it.
Is that on Game Pass, Paul?
It is on Game Pass, yes.
Okay. Well, I like it.
Very good value. I don't know. Do you like games with a story?
Yes.
Because I know Neil's allergic to games with a story.
I can't believe you're asking me
If you
that.
like games with a story and you like taking a seemingly disparate ragtag bunch of characters and forming them into a well-oiled fighting machine,
I don't like that.
then yes, I think you'll enjoy it. In that case, no, forget it. Then it's not for you. There is quite a lot of walking.
Oh,
but,
good.
You know,
That's what I
there is
like.
other stuff as well, so it's no good.
Good. Astria Ascending. God, we're getting through some games.
Astria
Ascending. Okay.
Astria Ascending.
Okay,
Very,
good.
very good.
Very good. I'm going to chat, because I chatted about this last week with Richard and I EGX special, but I was only a little bit in, so I'm going to chat about it a bit more. I'm reviewing for us Far Cry 6, and I'm quite a fair bit in now. So God knows how many. I mean, it's going forever, but I'm a fair bit into it. And I think maybe we were a bit harsh on it last week. I think when you start the game, you get a feeling like, oh, here we go again. I feel like I know where I am. I've done this 1,000 times before. But once you've got it, it's a lot of fun. And I think that Far Cry has gone back to it being a game with a load of fun. You know, I think at one point early on, the person says to the other one, just do things with a smile on your face, and it sort of sets the mood, really. The amount of weapons you can grab, it's just silly, kind of like taking out whole kind of armies, things exploding everywhere, dogs on wheelchairs on their back, and it's like a crocodile with a t-shirt on. I've got a special edition, I think, with the review code. So like 15 minutes in, all this stuff downloaded into my items. So like I got like all this cyber stuff. So I look like Terminator with a red eye and everything else I've put on. I think it's to do with the Far Cry DLC that I got with it. And I've got as a companion, a sort of like robot dog. And so the robot dog just is with me all the time. And then people just keep going, that's a strange looking dog. I've never seen one like that. And it's just quite a nice touch. And, the more I've got into it, it's really good fun. It has that kind of like, it has a great set. It reminds me of Just Cause, in a sense, as well. I think
that is good fun.
The location and the kind of carnage as well that sometimes happens around it. But it's Far Cry, there's some building management stuff to be in there. You can build out your camp, you can go with challenges, there's loads to do. If you're a Far Cry fan, you're going to love it. It's got a fair bit of criticism. It's got some nice reviews. It's got a fair bit of criticism for people going, I'm bored of Ubisoft and the way they do games, the sort of like format of it. I don't know what to say about that, really. It's the way they do have the problem I think Ubisoft has is they produce a lot of games. And recently, it feels like all we've been playing is Ubisoft games because nothing else has come out. So it has got a kind of, you start to see the kind of like links between all of them in looks and the way things are. So yeah, I think Far Cry 6. I think it's I'm not really giving it a score yet. I'm probably going for a 4. I think.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So if I win this £50 in Xbox credit,
you're not allowed. You're out. You can't do this.
Oh,
you're gone.
Oh well, I can't have Far Cry 6 then.
No, that's it. More games, James. What have you got?
Well, I haven't really any more games apart from a game that we've all played. Apart from you, Gareth.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We've all played apart from you because we didn't think you'd be any fun.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, let's talk about it. It's a big game. It's coming out this week.
It is a big game.
Let Paul lead.
Paul, you lead.
Okay,
because you're reviewing
I'll lead since I'm writing the review. But I've roped James and Daz and Neil in to play it with me. And it's Back 4 Blood. Now, I never played the Left 4 Dead games back in the day. So This is all quite... It never appealed to me. I don't know why. You'd think shooting zombies in the face is pretty much a no-brainer, but I never got into it. I don't know why. But I'm really enjoying it this time around, playing with this bunch of reprobates. It's really quite amusing. There's the guy that runs off and gets killed. Normally, that's me. And then there's James who hides at the back, and then there's Daz who's just Daz scaring all the birds so the horde comes. And it's been a lot of fun. It's completely chaotic. It's not the most polished experience if you're trying to get into a game together. It seems to be there's a series of hoops that you need to jump through, and if you do one out of order, you get dashboarded and have to start again. But other than that, I mean, I've been having a blast with it just because it's a 4-player co-op game, and I don't think there's enough of those in the world. I think there's too much concentration on PvP these days rather than PvE. So maybe a little controversial, but that's what I think. What about you, Jet? What do you think?
I think you're correct in that I think having a game where you work together against the zombies is much more entertaining than something like Call of Duty, where you're all against each other. But yeah, for me, I played a lot of Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, even though it scared the Jesus army back in the day. But you can feel the adrenaline rushing as you're trying to make it to the safe room. And I like that. It really gets you going. And I think, although these zombies are quite similar to the kind of creatures you'd face in Left 4 Dead 2, I think they are different enough that it feels like a brand new game. And the introduction of the cards as well, because there's cards you can choose before the game, isn't there, to alter the gameplay.
Yeah.
So I think we all chose one that added mist to the environment.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You could barely see it. It was crazy.
Why would you add mist to the environment to make it harder?
Because it was either that, or it was either that, or it was something like there's going to be every zombie's going to be a special zombie or something.
Oh,
so
okay,
it was like,
right.
you know what? We'll deal with a little light mist.
Right.
Yeah.
Take that to the dense fog. But there we go.
Yeah, you could barely see your hand in front of your face.
But there's no fog inside.
No, as Neil found, yeah. Fog normally happens outside.
Right.
But no, it's a very entertaining game.
Oh, good. Darren, what do you think?
I broadly agree with these two. I think it's much more fun when you're playing with people you know cooperatively online. I tried to jump in yesterday and do a bit of matchmaking, quick play, and it took a while. I don't know if it's just because it's quite new. And then when I did get into a game, I don't know what the settings were, but I just really couldn't get into the groove of it. But I'm a big World War Z fan, so it might be that I'm used to that style where the zombies take 1 or 2 bullets to go down, whereas there's more special zombies in this, and ones that you've got to hit their little red weak spots to take them out. So like tyrant style ones from your Resident Evil might pop up, or some huge ones that you can choose to avoid. Or as I stupidly did, tried to take it on with a pistol and got killed several times. So it's a different pace, and the enemies are a bit more bullet spongy. So I think, as they said though, I think James said, there's a lot of customization. So we only really scratched the surface of what you can do to change the experience of the game that you play. So all the different cards and tech trees to upscale. I think it's one of those games that looks simple on the surface, you can jump into, but there'll be enough there to keep players who want to play regularly, like Call of Duty, entertained.
Okay. I spoke to Neil, and he said, I don't think it was for Neil. Neil said I think Neil was a big Zombie Army fan. He loves that.
Yeah.
He found it a bit too hectic.
It is a bit faster than that, yeah.
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 Too many zombies for a zombie game.
But I think that's the thing. You've answered this, Darren. But it's interesting about. So you can't. You've got to jump in. So the only way you can play on your own is you just jump in with a bunch of randoms.
Yeah. As far as I could
you
tell,
can't.
yes.
You can't play with AI.
So you matchmake.
You can.
I don't think so. Can you?
You can. You can play with AI bots. But in a very peculiar kind of move. If you play on your own, you don't unlock any achievements in the game.
Right.
Oh.
Which is really, really weird. I can't understand why you do that. It's like when we played together, I suddenly unlocked all these achievements, even though I'd done some of the game before just playing on my own with bots.
Yeah.
And then when we played together, the achievements appeared, and I was like, that's a bit peculiar. So I've done a little bit of research. And apparently if you play single player, there's no achievements, which is bonkers to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Maybe I'm struggling with, like we talked about setting up a match, the menus, it's not as the most accessible game to set up. I thought you had to play with other players, so it's interesting that you can play with bots, but you don't get the achievements.
Yeah, that's a bit of a silly move in my book. I do like an achievement.
You do.
Oh, we know.
And I don't generally like other people, so...
I'm with you there.
Good. And just one thing, I didn't get an invite to this group. I've just...
Well, we wanted people who could shoot straight, and, there's a list of people before you, Gareth, I'm afraid.
Unbelievable.
I mean, if it was walking about, you'd have been top of the list.
Unbelievable.
But doing shooting, it's like, well...
I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember this from one of you at night going, if anyone want to play this? And I'm going, no, I'm walking around.
No.
Walking cigarette.
We'll see you for Forza.
Yeah.
At the back.
We've got that blue car reserved.
Right. Darren, one more, I think, and then we'll go on. If that's all right.
Yeah, fine. So my latest review that went up recently was for the Jackbox Party Pack 8. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Jackbox.
Yes.
Oh, good. Brilliant. So essentially, it's a game that you play socially on your mobile phone. So it's a series of mini games, and the idea is that your sense of humour comes through in the games to make people laugh normally, and there's a bit of trivia involved. So the latest pack is pretty much what the formula is now. They release one every year, and there's 5 games in the pack, and they're varying genres. So one might be a bit of trivia with a bit of luck. There's a big, enormous wheel spinning game in this latest one. There might be another where you have to do draw-ins, or there's another where you have to make sentences from jumbled up random words. So it's really good fun. And normally, if a few of us get together for a few drinks, we'll whack it on and play a few rounds as well. Doesn't do anything particularly new or different, but it is a lot of fun. If you like it, you'll like it just as much as the others. But interestingly, they haven't bothered to integrate any sort of online matchmaking. So if you want to play with random people, you have to stream it, and they're quite happy for you to do that. So you used to use Mixer, but obviously no longer with us. So you can use Twitch. You can stream your game, and there'll be a room code. You can join on your mobile phone, and then people can watch what's happening on the screen while they're playing on their phone. And that's how you play with random people if you don't have 8 or 10 friends to get around to your house.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
No. I think Daz has covered that beautifully.
He's covered that great, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. If you played one before, it's just some new games, but it works exactly the same.
Good. I've never played one. No, I'm never going to play one. But I like the sound.
Oh,
I like
it's
that
good
other
fun.
people play it. Let's now. We thought on the 100th we're going to have loads of news. Of course, there'll be big reveals, but it's not. This is the worst week
There's
ever.
nothing. Yeah.
This is scraping the barrel territory, isn't
Yeah,
it? This
but it's
week?
good. But Paul's going to do a quiz in a second, which is great. But there's three things that I kind of an interesting one. Sorry, Paul, for
That's
this
all
for a
right.
bit
Is
of
it
football.
FIFA by
It's a
any
FIFA
chance?
one, which is interesting. Though.
Just wake me up when you've done.
There's been a bit of a rumour that FIFA has been wanted to change their name to get rid of the actual FIFA from the title, and it feels like they're going towards doing this and making it called EA Sports or something like that. I think for their
Yeah,
football game.
Sports FC.
FC, yeah. And everyone's been going, I wonder why they're doing this or what's it doing. And then the reports come out, probably by EA, that FIFA wants to charge EA double the amount for the license. So it works out at 1 billion plus for every 4 years.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of
That's
money.
a few £50 gift cards, isn't it?
But
yeah.
they want to limit EA's abilities to monetize beyond the game itself, which is the interesting bit. This kind of plan of what EA have been trying to do. And James, Darren, you can get me right on this. They're actually talking about highlights of actual games in there, aren't they? Real games into the thing. Maybe you two haven't seen this.
I'm a bit like Paul. Like, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't played FIFA since FIFA 2005, and I quite enjoyed it, but I don't really keep up with it. I think I hope it goes better than Pro Evolution Soccer for them if they do change things. That's what I'll say.
I think it would be. Yeah, I think it'll be good. But I think that's the idea. I think they want to monetize it. It sounds like by actually having real football highlights in there.
Right.
Yeah, and esports.
And esports.
Okay,
video
yeah,
tournaments.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's where it's going.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, and it feels like, I mean, in principle, EA, FIFA. I mean, having the word FIFA, it wouldn't change the licenses. You just wouldn't, or like of the teams and the player names. You'd only be the name and the logo and the World Cup. You wouldn't be able to have the World Cup in that.
Which not many guys about anyway.
No.
It's just a little bit of DLC in it in the World Cup.
I remember it used to be a separate game entirely, didn't it? Back in the day, FIFA World Cup.
Yeah. James, what's your thoughts? What do you think? I mean, it's going to happen. It sounds like it's going to happen, isn't it?
I think it's about greed. People want more money, and EA want to keep all their money. So they're going to change the name, because no one's going to pay that amount.
Yeah.
But they can't really call it EA Sports FC, can they? It's almost worse than eFootball.
Yeah.
Almost.
Almost.
I don't want to just don't call it in the game.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
Or just the football game.
The football game, yeah.
I mean, I wonder, have they... Sorry, James. Have they studied how much they think it would damage kind of player, like brand loyalty, if they did lose FIFA from the title or sales, do you think? Or, I mean, they must think it's going to change things substantially if they're in discussions to keep the name, but I don't know how much it would actually change things. It's such a well-established franchise now.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of marketing for the new name. But to be fair, that core player base will play it wherever the name is. As long as they know it's the same game, they won't have a problem.
I think you're absolutely right. I think there's two things there. There's no competition. If there was competition, that would be a worry for them. But there's nothing to compete with them. In the olden days, it would have had PES, and they would have gone, do we do this? Because we're really taking a risk, because everyone will go to PES. But there's nothing for other people to go to. It's what's the word?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
They have a monopoly on it.
Yeah. I was thinking Cluedo. I knew that was the wrong word. Good. That's the third. That's going to happen. Let's talk about two really quick things. Let's talk about Battle Royale again, as it's been a theme. Ubisoft they announced they were doing Ghost Recon Frontline, which is going to be a free-to-play Battle Royale thing, wasn't it? And they were going to release it, weren't they? And I think it's now been indefinitely delayed, isn't it?
Yeah. Wasn't it just a test they were going to release? Wasn't there like a beta or something they were going to do, and they've decided not to?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a bit of... Go on, Paul.
Go on. No, go on, Daz. You go. I only sort of skimmed the article.
Well, I think you were going to say the same as me. It seems like there's been a bit of a backlash from the community anyway, in terms of the direction that the series has gone, because it's going to be free to play, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm not sure that the appetite isn't essentially there, potentially what they thought. So it might be delaying. It might be a way to kind of reassess what the final game will look like. But it's interesting that it's only a beta and it's been delayed.
Yeah. And the other bit of Battle Royale news is Wales International do brilliant FMV games. I'm doing a Battle Royale interactive movie, which could be terrible, could be great. We'll see. That's coming out very soon. I like them. I like Wales International. It's great fun.
Yeah,
they're really good fun.
I reviewed a Switch game, The Something Detective, years ago when I first joined the site. Yeah, and that was really good.
Yeah. Shapeshifting.
I'm with you though.
Yeah.
Yes, the shapeshifting detective. Yeah. That's right. I'm with you though. Like, do you remember in the noughties when like the interactive DVD game craze kicked off, and it didn't quite work on a lot of them. If it flows well, it'll be really good. But if it feels a bit disjointed and stunted, it might prove to be a difficult undertaking for them.
Yeah, it's November the 3rd. That's out, so we'll see.
It looks very cheesy.
They're all very cheesy.
Yeah.
Much stilted.
Right, Paul, we're going to rush you here. Quiz time. Let's do it.
Right, quiz time. Hurrah. Let me get my sparkly German game show host jacket on.
Great.
Right then. So, the rules of the game are pretty much the same as Gareth has established in previous episodes. I have chosen 5 games, and I have taken 5 snippets of dialogue from each game. And I'm going to give them to you in descending order of difficulty. If you get it on the first clue, you get 5 points, second 4 points, etc., etc. Okay. Right. Just to make things fair, we're going to let Gareth go first on the first one, because he's always been the bridesmaid and never the bride in these things. So here we go. Right. Are you ready, Gareth, for game number 1? I'm not going to do the traditional almost give the name of the game thing. I'm going to skip that bit. Right, okay, here we go. My stomach drops whenever you do a jump like this. I don't even have a stomach. Funny how that works.
I'm going to go for Metal Gear 5.
No. Darren.
I think I recognise it. Is it Portal?
No.
That's a good guess.
Sorry, good guess, but no.
Is it Outriders?
It isn't.
Oh.
So, good guess, though. Good guess. Good game.
Good game. Bruce.
Right, then. So, we'll go for clue number 2, and we'll let James go first this time. The wolves are near. She is a fool to think she can control them.
Is it Destiny?
It is Destiny. Well done.
Dear me. Well done, James.
Excellent. Well done, James. The next clue was going to be that wizard came from the moon. The one after that was we've woken the hive. And then the last, can you guess what the last clue would have been?
It's my destiny.
It is my destiny.
No, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. The classic line from Destiny 1.
Yeah,
Everybody knows that line.
Okay.
Anyway, right. Here we go. Game number 2.
Yep.
Darren to go first.
Oh, God, okay.
Oh, this is just wrong. I'm coughing up blood that ain't mine.
I don't know. Blood rain, fresh bites. I've no idea.
No. I'll save you some time. Blood rain is not on the list. Okay.
Oh, I was banking on that. Okay.
Gareth.
Let's say Alien Resurrection.
No. James.
Is it Dark?
No, it isn't. Good guess, though. Good guess.
What's Dark?
It's what happens at night time.
Ah.
I think it's a vampire game.
Right. Okay, let's carry on then. Gareth, your turn to go first
Ooh.
this time.
Okay.
Nobody plays this game like me. Nobody.
Is it Batman Arkham Asylum?
No. Darren.
Psychonauts 2.
Ooh.
No. James.
I've got to get this right. Is it Gears of War 2?
I don't believe it. It is.
Good play, James. Good
Is it the
play.
Coltrane?
It is the
Is it
Coltrane.
Coltrane?
Great.
That's why
Yeah.
I very deliberately didn't do it with
Yeah.
any acting in there. It was like,
Good.
nobody
Yeah.
plays this game like me. Nobody.
Good.
The next clue would have been Lookmar, no face.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter, Scourge, destroy them. And then the last one would have been, tell me, is it true you're the son of Adam Phoenix?
Ah.
There we go.
Right.
Good.
Okay, then. So game number 3, we'll let James go first. He's currently winning 8-0. I mean, I don't want you to feel bad, guys,
Is it,
but, he's running off with it. Right.
Okay.
Here we go. Game number 3, James to start. Okay, let's rate. Whoever wins is not the loser.
Whoever wins is not known. Ooh. I'll just go with something stupid like Need for Speed Underground.
No. Good guess, though, James. Good guess.
Thank you.
Darren, what would you like to try?
The Fast and Furious game.
Crossroads? No, it's
No.
not that.
Oh.
But
Damn.
anyway. Gareth?
Final Fantasy VII.
No. Good guess, though.
Thank you.
Right, Darren to go first this time. This isn't a snowmobile. Snowmobiles are for sissies.
Final Fantasy 14.
No. James?
Snowmobile. The Gears of War 5.
No. Good guess, though.
Better not be.
Gareth?
Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
No. Good guess, though.
Stop saying good guess.
Right, we'll let Gareth go first this time.
Oh, right.
Clue number 3. I got to save me some cheerleaders.
Ooh.
Ooh. Dead Rising 3.
No. Good guess, though. James?
I think I might know it, but I can't remember the name. Let's go with Dead Rising 2.
No, it's not that. Good guess,
No.
though.
No.
Darren?
Thanks.
Well, for continuity, is it Dead Rising 4?
Dead Rising Paul? No, it isn't that. Right. I'm hoping I've finally stumped you all now with this one. Okay, then. We'll have Gareth to go first. And this is a 2-part one. It's like a conversation. Hulk Hogan versus Sarge. Who wins? I win because I'll shoot his big ass.
God knows. Call of Duty. Warfare. Modern Warfare 2.
No. And I'm sure I said... Did I say Gareth to go? Anyway.
Yeah.
James, you go next, my friend.
I wish I knew where it was. 'Cause that sounds fantastic, that quote.
This is just games for Paul and James. Idiot games.
No,
We haven't got
You
a
are.
host here, no.
We haven't. We're much more refined taste, me and you. Darren.
Deduct him some points for that song.
I will,
wait.
yeah, he's now on -2.
Is it Devil May Cry?
Oh,
It isn't. Good guess,
No.
though. Darren, what do you think?
I have absolutely no idea at all. So, WrestleMania. I have no idea.
No. WrestleMania was famous for not having guns in. Anyway, right. who hasn't gone first for a bit? Is it you, Darren, or is it James?
I think
Whoever
it's
I
me.
give this clue to. Right,
I think it's
Darren
me.
to go then.
If I don't get it now, then
If you don't get it, then right. There we were, the Bad Company.
is it Battlefield Bad Company?
It's not. Good guess though. James.
Is it Battlefield 2 by company?
It's Battlefield Bad Company 2. I'll give you that.
Don't give him that.
Thank you.
I'm closer, surely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The right words, just not
it's a
necessarily in the
boo.
right order.
Exactly.
It's a,
Yeah.
I like
it's
you,
con.
Paul.
It's a con,
You're a
Darren.
great host.
Right,
Con.
yes, thank you. James is now winning 9-0 to -2. So, right,
I'm glad I'm not
here we
last.
go.
That's something.
Game number 4.
Yes.
Are you ready for this? Sharpshooters are loners by nature. We hone our instincts, pour our whole being into a single bullet. The pressure of the moment, an instant of tension, that's what I have to face alone. It's not easy. Gareth to go first.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
No. Good guess, though. James.
Sniper Ghost Warrior 3.
No. Good guess, though.
Oh.
Darren.
Metal Gear Solid, the first one.
No. Good guess, though. Right. Clue number 2. We'll have Darren to go first. To tell you the truth, I worry too much about what others think of me. I hate that side of me. That's why I didn't want anyone to get to know me. I wanted to hide that side of myself. I hate it. This is much more highbrow, Gareth. You should be at home here. The snow shooting Hulk Hogan's big ass.
I have no idea. Not a clue. I can't even hazard a guess. I'm just going to pass.
Okay. Gareth.
Hitman 3?
No. Good guess, though. James?
Hitman 2.
No. Not that good a guess. Right. Gareth to go first this time. Cafeteria team, collect all the hot dogs and store everything in the secret shelter. Don't leave anything for the enemy.
This is a good one, this one. Fallout 3.
No. Good guess, though. James?
Is it Viva Pinata?
It's not, surprisingly.
I wish it was.
So do I.
Darren?
Fallout 76.
No. Good guesses, everybody. Right. We'll have James to go first this time. Rinoa, even if you end up as the world's enemy, I'll be your knight.
I recognise the name, but I can't think. Let's go with something like Final Fantasy 15.
No. Good guess, though. Darren?
No idea at all.
Okay. Gareth?
Final Fantasy 8.
Well done, my friend.
Oh, well done.
Damn
There
it.
you go. You've made it
-1.
back up to 0 now.
Oh, but it's a 0. Good.
Because that's the second one.
Good.
The last clue was, even after becoming an instructor, I couldn't stop thinking about Squall. Right. Now, this is going to be a proper test for y'all. Are you ready?
Is this the last one?
This is the last
We
game.
can't
yes?
win, can we, Darren?
No,
You
I don't
can
think
never
so.
win.
Oh, fighting talk. Right then, we'll have James to go first.
Excellent.
All right, we're here, just sitting in the car. I want you to show me if you can get far. Step on the gas.
I know, GTA 5.
No. Darren?
It sounds like something from Parappa the Rapper from back in the day.
Absolutely, you've got it. Well done,
Hey, Darren, well done. That's brilliant.
That's where my gaming
Excellent.
knowledge is. None of
That's
this.
it. Right. So the rest of the clues would have been: every single day, stress comes in every way. I ain't got no time for nobody. My style is rich, dope, fat, in which will make a cake today that looks rich.
Great.
White boys can rap, it turns out. In the rain or in the snow, I got the funky flow. And I am a chicken from the kitchen, and I ain't kidding, though nothing is written. And then the last clue that should have given it to you is kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
Yes. Classic.
Wow.
So there we go. James wins 9-5-0. So congratulations, James. You win the 100th anniversary quiz.
Well
Where
done.
do I win?
And a £50 Xbox gift card.
Which I will donate to the prize pool.
Oh, you are so good.
Very good.
It's the right thing to do.
So there you go.
Well done, Paul. Great.
Thanks.
Well done. I'm not sure quite what's just happened there, but
No.
I enjoyed it all the same.
Now, let's remind ourselves before we go of the thing. So all you have to do is go and look at the article or the link to wherever you are. You'll see it. You'll go to the article and you'll press on the widget and subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast, and you can get a chance to win 4 codes for the game Unmetal. So there's 4 chances to win that, or a £25 live Xbox Live credit, or a £50 Xbox Live credit. Really good prize. 6 prizes there on offer. Do it, please. And you've got till the 23rd, I think, of October. I'm making that up. I think it's 20. You've got that a week. Now, before we go, what are we looking forward to next week? Darren, what have you got in your idea?
I've managed to bag a ticket to be on the audience in Question Time this evening, so I'm looking forward to that. It's very exciting for some people. And then beer festival and a wedding as well, so quite a lot going on this week.
Great. Have you got a question for Question Time?
I've had sent 2, and I've got to think of one when I get there. So yeah, they'll pick when we get there.
Great. Paul, what about you?
I'm having some days off next week, so I'm looking forward to not going to work and hopefully getting a bit of fishing.
Great. Good. James, what about you?
I'll just be watching Darren on TV. I find it.
Oh yeah, obviously I'll be watching Darren on TV. I thought that went without saying.
Fingers crossed they don't sit me behind a post or something. Otherwise you'll all be very disappointed.
Here, Darren, just put this bag on your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good. Right, and House of Ashes is out next week. That's the only game I can think that might be worth having a go at. I'm not even sure about that. But we're going to go. Thank you so much for joining us for the 100th. You fought through 3. It's been lovely having you.
Thank you
very
for
enjoyable.
Having us. It's been emotional.
We might be taking a couple of. We might be back in a fortnight because I don't think I'm here next week. So we will work that out. But if we're not here next week, I apologise. We'll be back the week after for the 101 one. But thank you very much.
It could be it.
Don't see me again.
We'll see what the figures are like by 100.
Paul's queue today. He'll take over for next week.
Yeah, he can do it for next week. We like it.
Welcome to the XboxHub Official Podcast, episode 101. Gareth couldn't be here today because he's in the basement.
Locked up. Right, gentlemen. Thank you very much, everyone. And please enter the quiz. Have a look. Good luck. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.TheXboxHub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.